So those who don't know where Kirra Beach is, I'll just zoom in and show you exactly where it is on the Gold Coast. It's at the southern end of the Gold Coast. And then you'll see Coolangatta there, North Kirra, and you can just start to see a little stain on the beach. That's right, even Google Maps has the lagoon. And not sure when they took their little satellite, but there she is there. So that gives everybody a geographical location of exactly where the lagoon is. And I'm just going to pan back a bit on Google Maps just to show you that's where the creek is. That bit there I'm zooming in, that's the creek. Goes under the road, under Musgrave, keeps going underground, comes out at that concrete area there and comes up onto our beach. Hey YouTube, today is Sunday the 15th of October 2023 and directly behind me is what is referred to by our local government as the Kirra Lagoon. Now I'm going to do a video basically exposing the very poor condition of this lagoon, and I'll give some background to why this mass of water is here. And it's really appalling that the local authorities have shown absolutely no interest in actually fixing up this once and for all. Now I'm standing roughly at North Kirra here on the Gold Coast. Now I can tell everybody watching that this body of water would not be tolerated if this was Main Beach, if this was Broad Beach, or if this was Burleigh Beach. But for reasons I can't explain, it's accepted here. And it's been here for a long time. Now hardly anyone ever seems to worry about it, but it's actually really appalling, as you'll see, in terms of the condition of the water. You can probably hear and maybe see that there's a lot of seagulls and other birds around this area as well. So if there's a lot of birds, you know what they're doing? That's right, they're using that body of water as their toilet bowl as well. So I'm going to go through, look at part of this lagoon, and the reason I want to do this is I actually have been and have reached out to council on numerous times. I'm in possession of letters and responses from council about the matter, and I'll talk about them a bit later in the video. I'll actually present them and show you some of the information they've sent back. And one of the replies I've got back, and I kid you not, is quite mind-boggling, because what happens is council every 7 to 10 days turn up with a bunch of excavators and they cut a channel and allow the water that's here then to be released out into the ocean. It's the only way you can do it. And I've got in writing from them, and they acknowledge that when they do that job, rubbish, as in plastic, that's in this body of water washed out to the sea. It's really quite appalling. And you know, I'm just wanting to do this video because I've had enough. I've really just had enough. I've tried to do it the right way, go to the right people, talk to the people, say, guys, we need something done here, and at every position it's been fobbed off. Now I've got links in the description of previous videos that I've had down here. You'll see the correspondence is a few years old because I did it when COVID hit, and then, you know, I, like you, I have a life, I've got a job, I've got other things to do, and it's only now, being today the 15th of October 2023, I've decided to sort of pick up where I left off on this and finally do something. So what I need from YouTube viewers, all you great people out there, is to obviously watch this and spread it to your mates, your friends, and your local community. If you have a Facebook account, post it there. If you run a X account, post it there. Just get it out there. And I've got contact names of the people you can contact to start putting some actual pressure on them, because we need to do something about this. I'm just one person. This is just one person starting off. I'm hopeful others will take this and run with it, who've got a bit of clout to actually get council to finally do something about it. I'm being purposely restrained in my language here because I want this video to be seen by all age groups. So, you know, if I could really honestly describe what I see out there, I would describe it in much more terms that would be laced with a lot more or a lot of profanity, but I won't. Anyway, I'm now going to do a tour around the lagoon, and you just make up your own mind if you think this is satisfactory. Remember, that beach that's out the front there, that's directly behind me, is part of the National Surfing Reserve. We have some of the best beaches in the world, definitely we're the best probably beach within Queensland, and the stretch of beaches that I'm talking about, and yet this is tolerated. And I've just, like I said, I've just had enough. I just want to do this video, present it, and then give you these extra bits of information. So let's get into it. It's approximately 1:35 p.m. on Saturday the 29th of August 2020. I'm just standing in front of the lagoon. That's what the Gold Coast City Council calls this body of water, which is located at North Kirra Beach. I'll just pan the video down here so you can get an idea of just what the extent of this great lagoon looks like. Yep, there you go, dead fish. Any wonder you wouldn't even want to go in there and touch anything in here. What I'd also like to draw everyone's attention to is just look at the actual, what's happened to the actual sediment here, what's happened to the beach in terms of what it used to be like. Over here, I just brought some normal beach sand down, which is just, you know, basic silica. Beach sand, as you know, is just flickers straight out of your fingers. You can't even grip it. You couldn't pick that up even if you wanted to. But if you look just down here where I've just taken a little piece out just before, I'll just pick up the top of it and have a look at that. Just look at this piece here. And it's full of, you know, mineral sands and stuff. It's probably a bit of ilmenite and rutile and something else, but it actually feels like a crust, like a bit of pizza. I mean, that's transformation of what this area has now happened to. And that's because this body of, you know, ghastly water has just been allowed to sit here over many, many, many years. It's virtually transformed this whole part of the beach. Again, here's a fresh part here. I'll go in here with my hand, just pull out a piece again, and have a look. It's just all together. Doesn't want to fall apart like normal sand. That's because it's all sort of stuck together with this sort of crust on the top of it. It's really ugly, dreadful stuff. And if I just take the pan and move a little bit down here, you can see directly ahead, that's where the dune restoration is. So had this particular lagoon not been here, of course, then I'd be standing on vegetation. And you can see here at the moment, there's actually not a lot of the body of water, and that's because it's slowly but surely either evaporated or it's made its way out to sea. But this current landmass in front of me normally is also underwater. And you can also tell just from the colour, you know, there's beach sand, you know, in the foreground there. We go to the immediate contrast here. So you can see how it's slowly but surely getting transformed because of the body of water. So I've been on the council's back since early July about what they're going to do to rectify this problem. You can see over there, that's where the pipe is, and that's where the water from the Coolangatta Creek runs off and comes out to here. And basically every fortnight, someone in an excavator goes out near to the, you know, the water line, the sea line, cuts a channel, and then it lets it all flow out to sea. Slowly but surely we're getting a little bit of interest from council, and I've also been chatting to our current state member, and there's definitely now some interest in possibly getting something done about this on a more permanent scale. Not much more really to report. As I say, a picture's worth 1,000 words, but you can clearly see it's not a nice sight here at all. And remember, I'm actually at the Gold Coast World Surfing Reserve. That's what this part of Kirra Beach is in, and yet we have this sort of mess here. So that's enough for the day. I'll post this on YouTube. Hopefully a few people can check it out, but slowly but surely we'll get something done here. Thanks. This is one of two signs that warns the public about the condition of the water and that you shouldn't, I find amusing, swim and fish in it. And here is the same identical second sign. which is at the end of the concrete structure. Now, I'm not going to go up to them and tell them, it's not for me to do that, but there's a dad and his daughter having a little bit of a play in this water right now. They're probably more fascinated about all the bird life and all that sort of stuff, so that's fair enough. But there are only 2 posted signs that the council put here, and it's on the concrete structure where I'm videotaping today's actions. Nowhere along the beach, so either you looking out on this vision to your left or onto your right, is there a similar sign warning people to not swim or fish here. Definitely the swim and play here. So that's another shortcoming of our council. They talk up all the safety things, we do this right and everything else, but when it comes to putting anything into action, they fail miserably. So I've just come off the concrete structure here, and I'm just going to start filming, just so you can get an idea of just the state and the colour of this putrid water. As I said, there's not a lot of it here in terms of the body of water than that has been here, and you can see that in previous videos that I've linked into the description. To give you an idea of just how much or how big a body of water can be here, just look at the erosion on this bank that we have here. In order to produce a bank like that of erosion, you need a big body of water, to be pushing the sand and knocking off, in this case here, the grasses and stuff. So that gives you an idea of just the scope. And then of course, what happens when this body of water, is bigger, that obviously goes to a higher level, and then naturally it flows out here. Think of it like a delta, and then it's a very, very big body of water. So here we are on the other side of the concrete structure, and you can see these are the exit points for where the water comes out, and you can see here the delightful state of the water here. It might be a lot of things, but it's definitely not a lagoon. And you'll actually see in one of the videos that I've put into the description below, when I was here a few years back, I actually found dead fish in here. Yeah, which is not a surprise, I guess. So I'm just doing a nice little casual walk around here, just so you can get a better idea of just the size of it. And going back to where I was before, so that's the piping. So when we show you the Coolangatta Creek, that's where the water, which goes under Musgrave, comes out, and then as you can see, it just fills up here and just sits here. And yeah, this is basically the hidden shame of Kirra Beach. I don't know why she took that shortcut. Okay, so I'm just on this part here, and I'm just really taking this bit of video, because you can see white specks all over the place here. Yeah, the white specks are basically just bird poo. So you saw earlier how there's a lot of birds sitting here, so obviously they're going to do their droppings, and they just make those droppings will end up making their way into the water. Still can't believe that dad and his daughter are still wanting to play in this stuff. It's unreal. Now in this instance, this is just the quality of the water right here. Obviously more of the crap's just fallen here, so naturally by putting my container in there to catch it, you can see clearly the difference. So just picture this when this body of water is a lot fuller, and you can again look in the description below, you'll see the older videos that I've had posted here on YouTube, and it's just quite mind-boggling. So you can distinctly see that as the colour of the water. So what I'm videoing here is the Coolangatta Creek, as it's commonly known, and this is where the body of water, which ultimately makes its way out onto the beach, it flows through those pipes underground under Musgrave Street, make them way over to the beach. So this is the source of the water, and as you can see, it's just essentially an open creek, I guess. I could call it an open drain, and I have in writing from the Gold Coast City Council that the traps, these are the mechanisms that capture rubbish from the runoff, like plastic and other things, have been removed, and hence there's rubbish in here, and when it flows it goes out into the lagoon, and then when the council uses the excavators, the rubbish makes its way out to the ocean. So this is where the Coolangatta Creek runs to. This is a structure I think was built in the mid-80s. I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure someone who gets to watch this YouTube video might know exactly when it happened, but you can see it's a big concrete structure, and this is what's referred to, as I said in my intro, as the lagoon. As you can see, it doesn't look like much of a lagoon. Now, believe it or not, this is actually a very small surface area that it's covering. When there's a lot of water coming out, see all this flat out here? That's literally covered. And you can sort of tell where the lagoon actually goes because you just notice the sand, and you notice there's no vegetation growth of any description. See how you got the sort of mound just there, and there's grass, there's a few trees. So that gives you an idea how far it pushes out to this side of North Kirra Beach. It's really quite mind-boggling. Okay, so I'm now in a position of elevation, and I'm starting here, and I'll just pan. That's the Coolangatta Creek. This is all the water that ultimately finds its way out onto North Kirra Beach. There's the pipes that I showed earlier, goes under Musgrave Street, makes its way across. Then we get over to the exit pipes that are over there where that concrete structure is, and then you can see the current shape of what the council likes to call the lagoon. And as we saw in the videos I did this morning, it's far from a lagoon. It's basically a bunch of stagnant, putrid, sitting water, and it's right on our beautiful beach. A beach, I might add, is part of the national surfing, or the reserve. And yet, if this was Surfers Paradise, Broad Beach, Main Beach, Burleigh Beach, there is no way on this planet council would allow this ugly, stagnant mess of water to sit there. So it's about time council got their thumb out, got their engineers together, and came up with a better solution to fix this. So I did reach out to my local councillor about the state of the lagoon, and I'll just share with you now just those emails, but I'm not going to share the entire emails. I'll just sort of show you the dates that they were there, but there is one particular paragraph I very much will share with you. So on the 5th of July 2020, I made 4 videos of the lagoon, as we call it, and you can find those videos in the description of this new video. So then on the 6th of July, I sent an email to my local councillor. That's just the headshot there to show you the email that I just sent. I'm not going to go and disclose all the body of the email. I just want people to know that I did engage, the local council. I'm just not wanting this to be seen as just some sort of a whinge, and nobody was engaged on the council side. And then I got a reply back from the councillor on the 24th, so pretty quick. Now, the councillor did say in the email that basically she forwarded a response from someone with the title of Executive Coordinator, Environment and Catchments, Water and Waste Directorate. So again, as I said, the people we vote for, either council, state or federal, are captured by the bureaucracy. And anyway, they then wrote an email back to me, but there is one paragraph I am going to share with you, and it's this highlighted one right here. Now, I'll just bring that up so you can just see it now on the screen, and I'll just read it out because this is, for me, just the mind boggles. Remember, this is from council on the 24th of July 2020. So I'm just going to read the quote. A large amount of litter was also observed in the creek. It is noted that currently there is no gross pollutant trap, or GTP, at the end of the creek before it flows out into the lagoon area. As a result, much of this rubbish ultimately ends up in the ocean. I'll repeat, as a result, much of this rubbish ultimately ends up in the ocean. You see, when I took my videos, I could see all the rubbish that was in the creek and outside. And council confirms that when they are out there to clear the channel, they just let, obviously, the water flow out, but all the rubbish, and it's mainly plastic, of course, just flow out into the ocean. Further, continuing on the quote, consultation with the city, with the council city assets, senior engineer of stormwater advised there are currently no GTPs or litter gully baskets in place in the stormwater network of the Coolangatta Creek and the Kirra Beach. In 2016, the city installed 85 gully baskets in Coolangatta Creek catchment in order to reduce the amount of litter and debris ending up in the stormwater systems. This is also just as mind-boggling. However, these devices were removed following resident complaints as they were concerned that the devices would contribute to localised flooding. Well, where I live, I can see that part of the creek that just pulls there before it then goes under Musgrave Street. And I've lived here since 2008. Yeah, we've had a few times when there's been a lot of rain, but I've never, ever seen that creek flood. But what I interpret that last part about they've got means to collect the rubbish is simply code that we here in council just really can't be bothered going there maybe twice a week to empty the traps to get all the rubbish. So we will just let the rubbish flow into the creek, which is bad enough. And then when the creek is flushing itself out onto the beach, the rubbish goes with it. And remember, we're talking about a lot of plastics here. And then, of course, when council turn up every 7 to 10 days with the excavator or the bobcat to cut the channel to let the the lagoon drain out to the ocean, all that rubbish goes out. So again, this is council admitting what they're doing is allowing rubbish to go out onto the ocean. And remember, that ocean here at Kirra Beach is part of the National Surfing Reserve. I mean, for me, that's just not cool at all. So you've seen the videos of in the presentation today. You see the state of what it looks like, and you've seen what it also looked like back on the 29th of August 2020 as well. So you've got a bit of a comparison of current versus a few years ago, and it's just appalling. It really, really is. So that was the main takeout that I got from that particular bit of correspondence. And obviously, if a journalist gets in touch with me and they actually want to see the full correspondence, then I can do so. But I just wanted to share that particular part with everybody. So thanks for watching the video. It's really, again, quite mind-boggling, and as you heard and saw the information that I had sent back to me from council, I just would like to say that the local councillor here has been very good. She's been very open to hearing from me. We've had at least 2 official meetings, and I see her every now and then sociably around the place at Kirra. The issue I see it is the councils only can do so much. The problem, like any thing that we have in this country, is the local government, like the state government and the federal government, is captured by the bureaucracy, and it's those guys that really don't want to do anything, and that's pretty self-evident. So hopefully this video will increase awareness, and we can actually finally get the Gold Coast City Council to literally pull their thumb out and come and finally address this. I mean, it's 2023, out there is a world surfing reserve, and we have to put up with this. It's just mind-boggling. So again, thanks very much for giving your time up to watch this, If you can, give it a tick. It helps on the algo, because I'd like to get this out as much as possible. And I just want everyone who's watching this then to, if they are willing to, email the people that I've noted in the description below, the local councillor, the local state MP, and voice your concerns. As for the local state MP, I asked to meet with her around the time of the last state election, and she said, no, I'm well aware of it, got other things to do. So my opinion of her is not very high. But the person who was running at the time for the Labor Party did at least make the effort to come here, have a look, and she was actually quite bewildered by the extent and how big the mess was. So again, there's apathy here at all the political levels. I even tried to reach out to my local federal member, and of course, you know what happens there. They just don't care, because they just quickly farm it off and say, well, that's a local government / state government issue, and that sort of stuff. And I'm in the federal electorate of McPherson, so you can Google who that person is too, and you'll probably work out in the description below who she is as well. That's just the thing. No one will do anything until this video, and hopefully others with other people that come down here and see it for their own eyes, make their own videos and put them on their own socials, start to demand that this gets fixed. And it's not hard. Now sure, I'm not an engineer, but I'm standing on an engineered structure, and I'm sure they can do something from an engineering point of view to at least reduce this ugly stain that's on our most beautiful of beautiful beaches. And I can tell you what, council needs to really get a move on and start warning the public who are walking up and down the beach not to go through here. But I guess sometimes it's easier to talk about safety than actually put hard actions to make sure things are safe. Anyway, again, I appreciate your time. I know the video went on for a while. I wanted to be comprehensive. I wanted you to see what I've seen and what I've had from communications. I myself am not some echo-loon that wants to do this and do that. I'm just a local resident. But I really, really get sick and tired of inaction, particularly when the people who are in charge don't do diddly squat. And we see this time in and time again on a variety of different things, in our communities. So today it's a one-man army. Who knows what tomorrow is? So again, thanks very much. Take it easy, and until next time.